Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to reading for 2024, if you can believe it. We're just going to jump right in here. You have this horse spirit says freedom is yours. You have this coyote spirit says trust in divine detours. I feel like you've learned to do that. It's like you've learned how to trust when things don't work out, or you've learned to trust that things haven't worked out for a reason. And I feel like this is what's leading to success. It's like you're no longer, it's almost like you're not trying to control your destiny. It's like more that you are allowing your destiny to happen. And I don't know, that's how it's popping into my head. So I feel for a lot of you, I have the hiccups now. And I also think that you're just kind of like on this path of, allowing things to happen. Look, you have this Capricorn card. There you go. That looks amazing. Really, I love when people show up as their own sign, but it's even better when you show up as yourself in a yearly freaking reading, right? Because that really says that. And look, a very powerful row as well, but that really says that you're kind of like in a position of power and strength this year. You're coming in hot this year, Capricorn, is kind of like what I feel here. So definitely, I freaking love this reading. So definitely very, very good. A lot of good stuff coming in for you here. So yeah, love it. You have the Empress here. So I feel a lot of you are definitely, I feel it's more saying that you're focusing on abundance. You're focused on creating new abundance and things like that. You go to the Three of Pentacles to the King of Wands here. This is like saying to me that you have to be bold and assertive. I really feel you should work on your beliefs as well. Even if you have to brainwash yourself into believing that you can do something or have something, if you want to be like a millionaire, I feel like you need to say like, you know what, I am. You just tell yourself every freaking day that you are. And I feel like eventually you're going to brainwash yourself into believing it, and then you're going to make it happen. Again, I always tell people, like, personally, I kind of believe in the law of attraction just in general, and I do a lot of law of attraction stuff, but I also think that it's not it's like not magic necessarily, right? I think if we're in alignment, we're like in alignment with the energy, then, we're just naturally going to attract things faster. But I also think that the reason I personally practice law of attraction is not for the magical side of things, but because of how it makes my brain work, right? I think when we start focusing on the good stuff, we start seeing more good things happen. We're training our brain to look for those things. And so that's kind of like how I look at it. And for whatever reason, it's popping into my head that way for you. And again, I don't care what you believe. I tell people, like, believe whatever works for you, right? I'm not one of those people that's like, you have to believe this, right? I always tell people, believe what works for you. Plain and simple. I think there are enough people that tell you how to live, right? So I'm not going to be one of those people, but what I would say, whatever works. But I also feel that kind of like training your brain this year or something is popping into my head. And I feel it would be very beneficial for you, to do like affirmations, or like just even like tiny little things, just making sure you're putting yourself in more positive environments, so that you have a more positive vibe. Like all that is going to matter is what this is saying to me. You have the King of Pentacles. I feel bad about this. Like, I don't even feel bad about it. I just think you're trying to get away from the King of Pentacles, which is just the same old story. And I do see you breaking free from something that has kind of been the same. You have the Hermit here, and the universe is like saying to me on this card for you that you're ready for something. It's almost like you've been preparing for like a new business or new work or just a new beginning with those two aces. You have the Chariot as well. This would tell me that you've been preparing for some sort of new beginning for a while, and I just feel you're ready. That's it. I really feel nothing else. I feel like you are just ready for a new beginning. Like I said, I feel like Capricorn is coming in hot this year, so this looks definitely very good. With the Empress, by the way, if you want love, not a ton of love here. There is some, of course. I think love is always available to us. We just have to go get it. But, very attractive at this time as well. You have this inheritance card. It's like you're getting an inheritance. It is popping into my head as an inheritance, but not like you think, It's like not from like a person. I kind of feel like some of you, it's like you could be getting like a spiritual inheritance, meaning like maybe you get like a raise or a promotion, and that is your inheritance. It's almost like spirit is, giving you some sort of reward. Or I also have the word reward popping into my head. So you could be getting like winning a contest this year or something like that. It is also popping into my head. Like I said, coming in hot. I'm getting a million freaking messages for you in this reading, Capricorn. It's also popping into my head that if they're like, you should be like, I feel like you should be entering contests this year for whatever you do, like for like in work or business or just for fun or whatever. Like I feel it's almost like it is going to be a very lucky year as far as that is concerned. With the King of Pentacles, are you kidding? You have this optimism card. That's why I was going on and on about kind of like positive thinking and all that other stuff. I just think it's going to be extra beneficial for you this year. So, I would practice this for sure. I always say that like positive thinking changed my life. And, I don't think it has to be magical or, law of attraction. I think just like having your brain thinking it more positively, of course, is going to naturally help your life become more positive. So, I think, positive thinking is definitely popping up here. But I also do feel there's like a lot of fertilizer this year. And what I mean by that is I think that there are going to be a lot of things happening that are going to make you feel more positive. So, definitely very good. With the Hermit, you have this organization card. Yeah, I think this is the one thing that keeps popping up collectively for everyone this year, is that we just need to be flexible. I would definitely say it's one of those years where being flexible at as far as outcomes or how things enter into your life, or how you get to the finish line or how you accomplish something, that's going to be very, very important. So I would be as flexible as possible. Next, you have this Maiden card. It says new relationship blossoms. There you go. I didn't even see that. There could be new love. You have this Chimera. It says imagination clouds your judgment. Do not assume things, is what I would say. It's like maybe, I know based off your readings last year that maybe you had a tough time in love. And I feel like this is kind of like saying, it's like we have to learn on both sides, right? Like, let's say someone cheated on you. It's like, yeah, I'm not making excuses for that person, right? But it's like, I feel like it's saying, you have to learn like what to look out for. But I also feel like you have to learn the other side of that as well, if that makes sense. You even have the Ace of Swords here. And it's like, yeah, it's like maybe there are certain things that you ignored that person did. But like, what's the other side as well? As in, when you meet a new person, what would be something that says they do not do those things, right? That's what I mean. That's kind of like, I know that's a weird message, but that's how I'm getting it. I hope that makes sense. And it's like, I feel that you could be meeting a person and there might be some things that trigger you, obviously, but I feel like this is saying, don't allow your imagination to run wild. Communicate, talk to the person, right? What did you learn? Like, what didn't you do with that last person that did whatever they did? It's like, maybe you didn't talk about it. Maybe you let them do those things. Maybe you stayed too long in something that you knew wasn't working. Again, not a criticism. We've all done it, and I feel like just saying like, this time around, it's like, are you going to do something to so that you don't have those feelings? Again, I think a lot of problems in relationships happen because we have a feeling that someone's doing something and we just hold resentment. We don't actually speak up about it. And it's like, maybe if you speak up about it, you'd find out that you're worried about nothing. Or maybe you find out that you should be worried and then you can leave and end it sooner, right? So, it goes both ways. You have the Hangman, Three of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. I kind of feel like you've been waiting for love with the Hangman. Could be a water sign. Pisces, you have Cancer here. You have the Knight of Cups, which could be any water sign, but definitely a Knight in Shining Armor. You have fire here as well, so it could definitely be a fire sign. But I kind of feel like this is saying you have been enlightened. His head is glowing because he's waited to gain enlightenment, and so he's gained enlightenment on like what works, what doesn't work. And now he needs to put that into practice. He needs to set himself free from the tree. He's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom, but now it's time to move forward. And this doesn't have to be just love. Like going this way, you have the Ace of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. This is any type of success that you're hoping for. You have the Three of Pentacles. This is telling me that you need to focus on results, is what I'm getting, in every single area of your life. I think that it could be a very simple year for you. I wouldn't say easy. I literally just said this to Taurus as well, although their message was different. But I'm not saying it's going to be an easy year, but I think it's simple, meaning that the answers, the solutions are going to be not complicated solutions. And also, I think it's going to be simple as in, if the things that are going to work, double down on those things. The things that are not going to work are definitely not going to work. Get rid of those things. I feel if you could follow that rule, you're going to obviously, it's a really good reading in general, but I feel if you follow that rule, you're going to have a great year. I feel like you need to put yourself on a pedestal a little bit here as well, is like what I'm getting. It's like, I think that maybe you have this habit of, working with other people and you kind of think that they're like above you in some way or something. I don't know. I have like a weird message like that popping into my head. And I feel like this is saying, no, like your quality speaks for itself. And it's almost like if you could make that assumption, right, in your head, like my quality, but I don't even think it is an assumption because I think it's true. But I think you need to get your brain to make the assumption. Then you're going to find a lot more success. You have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is about charging forward toward success. And he is, kind of very spontaneous. Everyone's had something about being flexible this year, so, I think it's one of those years where the more flexible you can be, the better. the more you can detach from outcome and just allow things to happen, the better. Let's see. With the Hangman, you have this influence card. Every single person has had this card in love. So, I'd be careful of external influences in love, but, the universe could also be guiding someone towards you. With the Three of Pentacles, you have this caution card. Yeah, I would definitely be careful of anyone who has a third party, like married people, people that tell you that they have a third party or whatever. Like, I'm not here to make judgments or anything like that, and I'm not making a judgment. I'm just telling you what the cards say. Someone always tells me, like, what? I can't be with my person who has 27 girlfriends. I'm like, I don't care. You can do whatever the hell you want, right? It doesn't matter to me. But what I'm saying is the cards are saying, be careful, right? It's like, don't come crying to me when they get a 28th girlfriend, right? So what I would say here is it's like, I think you need to think about what you really want in life. This is what I always tell people, right? I think sometimes we get into these situations where someone has like 20 girlfriends, 20 boyfriends, whatever you're into, I don't care. And, we think like, oh, this is my perfect person because all these people are interested in them. But no, really, they're a freaking nightmare. So I feel like you need to be careful of that because maybe that's not what you really want. Maybe you want to get married and have kids. It's like, I've just heard so many stories. People always get so mad at me. I'm like, don't shoot the messenger, right? And I'm always like, I've heard so many stories of people that like end up with a married person and that person tells them, oh yeah, I'm going to leave. And they never freaking do, right? And so it's like, it's like, sure, someone always tells me some story like, oh, my grandma met my grandfather on the Titanic and my grandma left her husband to be with my grandfather. Great. You weren't on the Titanic and the Titanic sunk, right? So it's like, sure, there's always going to be an exception to the rule, but you are probably not the exception. Plain and simple, right? And so I feel this is saying clearly be careful of a situation. And again, don't come crying to me because trust me, I get tons of comments from people to this day where people are like, I was mad at you when you said this and this happened. I'm like, yep, I don't know what to tell you. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Riches card. This is what you're focused on this year. I feel like you're focused on abundance, success, going this way, this here. I see great success for you, but this is Saturn and Capricorn, this card. And I've been telling you Capricorn since like 2016 when we had Saturn and Capricorn. Education. I'm telling you right now, if you want to get rich, you want to get successful, even if you don't want to get rich and successful, if you just want like any type of abundance in any area of your life, I would do as much learning about it as you possibly can. To me, it is just like the one-way ticket to gold for you is education and self-education, like, learning from YouTube videos. And this can be free, right? It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can go to the library, you can read books, you can do all this stuff, right? So self-education is going to be very beneficial for you. But learning something, again, I always say that, Saturn and Capricorn is turning knowledge into wisdom. You learn something, put it into practice and use it. Use what you learn. And that's going to lead to a lot of success. Next, in the area of what's coming towards you, you have this Capricorn card that says achieve on it. So clearly a year of achievements. You have the Solar Calm. It says clarify on it. So a lot of clarity because you have the Ace of Swords as well. And the Ace of Swords is like laser-like focus. And the Ace of Swords can also bring truth into our life. But that doesn't mean that someone lied. It could just be that you're seeing things clearly and that is the truth that you are getting. You're kind of like understanding you're understanding like the direction that you need to go in your life, or you're understanding, what your focus should be, right? And I think this is going to be very important for you. The Ace of Swords is also my card of cutting out the crap. This right here is a palm frond. There's an olive branch on the other side of the card as well. The palm frond on the Ace of Swords says that, it basically represents sacrificing one thing to have something else. So don't be afraid to cut out the excess and just do what is important. One of my favorite books of all time is Skip the Line by James Altucher. And in that book, he talks about the 64-4 rule. Basically, it's the 80-20 of the 80-20. So he talks about how it's like, what is like the super important things that you could do day to day that have like the biggest impact? You take the 80-20, which I'm already a big fan of, and then you go even one step further where you get the 64-4. I don't know how the math works because I've never passed a math class in my life, seriously. And so I have no clue, but anyway, Google it, right? But anyway, that's what I'm getting here. It's like if you could just concentrate on the concentrated, good stuff in whatever it is that you're working on, I think you'll be very successful. You have the Ace of Pentacles. Again, 2 aces in a row is a definite yes to any question I haven't answered. It's also a new beginning, so I feel there could be a very solid new beginning coming in for you. A lot of abundance, and I also feel there could be a big offer. This could be a love offer coming in for you here. And I feel it could be very successful. I do kind of feel it as a fire sign, honestly. You have water here, but I would say it could be like a fire with like a water moon or something like that. And I am leaning more towards the fire side of things. So, I think Capricorn does really well with people who are like bold and assertive, right? And I feel this could be someone who's like very bold, straightforward, assertive. Definitely fiery type of vibe off of this person. I think there's going to be a lot of desire for this person as well. But I also feel like this is you. I feel like you are kind of in this energy of really making things happen this year. Clearly, like I said, you're coming in hot at the beginning of the reading. So, I feel like you're kind of charging towards things that are going to lead to success. With the Ace of Swords, you have this convention card here. I feel like you need to change part of your story. I think everyone needs to break free from convention right now. Convention is just the way things have always been done. So any new updated, upgraded ways you can work on projects or whatever, that's going to lead to success. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have this restlessness card. Whenever you're feeling restless, I would channel that energy into working on something. It could even be a puzzle, a coloring book. I don't care what it is. I think, to me, as far as I'm concerned, guilt is like the worst energy you could be in. Right under that is restlessness, right? So I feel for a lot of you that you need to channel your restless energy into something like work, business, career, something similar to that, basically. With the King of Wands, you have the Independence card. Yes, I feel like two very independent people here. It's like you're independent, they're independent. I think those are the best relationships. Two super independent people where it's like you don't need each other, but you want each other. Perfect, right? So definitely very good for love. I also feel like some of you are clearly becoming like, some of you could be becoming like independently wealthy here. You have the Scales card, says Justice, Documents. You have this triangle, it says Choices, Indecision on it. So this is coming up in the good stuff. And I feel like you finally made a decision on something. I do have the word settling, but it's not like you're, I feel like you're settling on something, but it's not like that. I think that it's like maybe you're choosing something is a better way to put it. It's not settling. I think you're going to be very happy with your choice here. And it does feel like work to me, or business. So if you've been having a hard time like trying to pick what you want to do or what you want to work on, I really see you kind of like picking something that you're very good at. You have the Nine of Pentacles here. You also have the Three of Pentacles in this reading. Three of Pentacles is being able to do something well. It's a card of quality work. On the Nine of Pentacles, she has grapes behind her. Grapes literally represent something that you can do well. And you have the King of Pentacles as well. So, the King of Pentacles also has grapes on his cloak. And so the grapes in the tarot, again, they represent something that requires a lot of skill. But it kind of represents a skill that you have. Grapes require special conditions to grow well. And so I feel like you are kind of entering into those conditions. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of your environment. And we see here that there's this little snail right here. And the snail wears its home on its back. So for a lot of you, I kind of feel that you are creating an environment of like success. And that also is contributing to success. You have the Chariot, taking control. Like I said, didn't I say something at the beginning of your reading? It's like you're it's almost like you're not trying to control your destiny, but you're definitely on the path to your destiny. He's not really trying to control his destiny either. There are these two sphinxes here, and they're not really attached to the Chariot, so it kind of says that he trusts that the universe is going to bring him in the right direction. And I kind of feel there is a new level of trust where it's like you're trusting your path, you're no longer resisting it. You have the Knight of Cups, and of course, this could be a Knight in Shining Armor that's coming in for you if you want love. So definitely a very solid, connection that could be coming in for you here. But let's see. Sorry, my alarm is going off. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have this eccentricity card. Yeah, I think you are kind of like on this unconventional path. I think a lot of us are. So you could be doing things and people are like, what the hell are you doing with your life? But it's your life, so who cares? With the Chariot, you have the Speculation card, another card of Cancer, by the way. Some of you could be attracting a Cancer. This could just be success, though. I think that for a lot of you, you kind of have the Midas touch this year. I get that feeling where, where it's almost like you could see opportunities, you take advantage of it, and it works out really well. I get like a lot of like side hustle, side project energy for you. If you work on contract basis, if you're like a freelancer or something like that, I see a lot of success for you in freelancing if you do that sort of thing or work on contract, right? It's like there could be a lot of really good opportunities that come in for you this year. Looks good. With the Knight of Cups, you have this inspiration card. Yes, I would follow your inspiration, just plain and simple. I think we're in a time of following our inspiration. You could also be attracting a person who is inspirational, so like someone who really kind of inspires you. But I also feel that there's a lot of attention on you in this reading. So I would do whatever you can to follow your inspirations. Again, I think it's super important that we all do right now. And, it just looks like it's going to lead to a lot of success. So, yeah, damn. Really good reading here, Capricorn. You have this leg. It says stepping into new experiences. I think there's a lot of newness here. 2 aces. Especially touching each other. Definitely new experiences, opportunities, new adventures. You have this bird perch card. It says waiting for news, package, or letter. I feel like there's good news coming in for you, and yeah, it just feels really good. You have the sunrise. It says new creative ideas. Are you kidding? New ventures, fresh start, like all this fresh start energy here as well. So if you are wanting a fresh start, I feel there's definitely fresh start vibes going on here. Even if you don't want a fresh start, I kind of just feel like you do feel like even if you're doing the same thing, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, by the way. Like maybe you're, maybe you're just having like a fresh perspective on life, right? And, I think that it just feels like a very refreshing year because of that. You have this bowl card. It says plenty of material things. Yeah, I think there's a lot of abundance and success here. So there you go. Plenty of material success. You have this key. It says successful outcomes to your problems. There you go. Solving a lot of issues this year and overcoming things. Damn, Capricorn. This is my favorite reading so far, so love it and looks really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your year.